This was the bison's approximate range before 1800, covering a significant amount of North America. By 1870, the population had been reduced to these two great herds. By 1889, American bison numbered in the hundreds, down from tens of millions at the beginning of the century. And the reason for their destruction becomes clear when you add this to the map: the tribal lands of the Plains Indians.
You cannot overstate the importance of the buffalo to the people of the northern and southern plains.
Dean Angelia Whitaker is a lecturer on American Indian Studies whose research focuses on issues of environmental justice throughout U.S. history.
The buffalo has been central to these cultures for hundreds of years, and the buffalo provides everything. It's not just food, but it's everything needed for everyday life.
Plains tribes constructed dwellings from bison hides, used bison blankets for warmth, and the bones for tools. Most important of all was bison meat, the crucial food source for the indigenous peoples of the Great Plains.
There is absolutely everything about the buffalo that makes this animal central to these cultures.
Which is why the U.S. government wanted them wiped out completely. White settlers in North America adhered to a cultural belief known as manifest destiny. The idea that white people were destined to expand west on the continent, conquer the landscape, and develop it. Manifest destiny is most famously depicted in this 1872 painting called American Progress, which shows the expanding railroad following a steady stream of settlers westward, and the land's native inhabitants, including the bison, fleeing into darkness. Imagery like this depicts the transformation of the land as a natural one, rather than the brutal reality of native people's forced removal.
By the time it gets a name to it, Manifest Destiny, in the 1840s, the U.S. is engaging in very violent processes of pushing native people off their lands to make those lands available for settlers. And native people resisted it, which meant war.
For the U.S., a key part of that war was eliminating the bison population.
The extermination of the buffalo was central to Manifest Destiny. They knew that you go after the buffalo, you can subjugate the people.
You can see clear evidence of this plan in statements made by Army officials at the time, like General Philip Sheridan, who said, "The best way for the government is to now make them poor by the destruction of their stock, and then settle them on the lands allotted to them." And in a letter to Sheridan, fellow U.S. General William Tecumseh Sherman suggested a way to accomplish that. It would be wise to invite all the sportsmen of England and America for a grand buffalo hunt, and make one grand sweep of them all. Throughout the rest of the 19th century, that's exactly what happened. The bison was hunted excessively for entertainment and competition, both by the U.S. cavalry and amateur hunters. Bison hunting parties would shoot at herds from passing trains, in what was called a sport that is peculiarly American. Bison were also killed for commercial profit, to satisfy an enormous desire for their skins and bones in eastern cities. These hunters would kill bison by the dozens for their skins alone, leaving the carcasses behind to rot. By the end of the 1800s, there were almost no bison left.
By the time that happens, native people are confined to reservations. This forced submission means that they have to rely on the federal government for food as part of a program of forced assimilation.